Yeah, yeah. You're audible. Hello. Yeah, biosciences. Hmm. Sure, yeah. Sure, yeah. Yeah, I'm recording. Sure, sure. Yeah. So, hello everyone. I am Prakriti Garg and I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's in computer science and biosciences from Triple IT Delhi. So, yeah, let's start the session. Nice. I hope my screen is visible. Yeah, great, great. And like wherever you don't understand anything, just feel free to interrupt me. Right. So, let's quickly go over like what are variables and what are the naming convention of variables. So, like any idea about the naming convention for variables? Any idea? How can we name the variables, or are there any things we should keep in mind while naming the variables? I'm audible, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, no issues. So, like variables, like basic idea, right? What is variable? Like I say, like x equals to 3, I assign a value 3 to variable x. So, basically, variable is nothing, just a container in which, like, we can keep, like, any numeric number, any strings, or like any kind of data we can keep in that, right? So, a variable can have a short name like x, y, z, or like a more descriptive name. So, like, let's say I want to store the age of a person in my variable. So, I can also name my variable as age, and age equals to 3. So, definitely, like in longer quotes, this will make more sense, right? So it is like important to have proper name descriptive names to our variables. Then there are certain rules for naming Python variables. We have different languages, right? Python, Java, C++, C, R. So like as currently we are studying Python, so let's like go over what are the rules for naming Python variables. So in Python, a variable name must start with a letter or a underscore. So let's see, let's see. So age equals to 3, and we run it, and this is fine, right? But a variable name cannot start with a number. So let's see, like if it is actually true or not. So let's say I do one age equals to 3. So see, it gave me a syntax error, that invalid syntax, because in variable name I cannot have a number in the start, right? So I can do age 1, that is fine. But in the starting I should only have like basically alpha characters, but not the numbers. Or I can also have a underscore in the starting, like age age equals to 3. So this is also fine, right? So like this point is important to note. So a variable can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores, and it cannot start with a number. Also, variable names are case sensitive. So like if I do age equals to 1, and let's say I do capital A and GE equals to 2, right? You guys are familiar with this platform, Google Collaboratory? Okay, great, great. So if I now do age, let's see what happens. So it gives me 1. Fine. Now, if I try to run capital AGE, like can someone tell me what will be my output? What should I get when I try to print a capital AGE? Like just try. It is like nothing like you should be always like correct, or you should be sure. Just any random guess. Hello. Okay. And like anybody else? Okay. Like here I have defined it, right? I defined both small age and capital age. Both I have defined and I have run the cell. So it, like the variable is defined. That is fine. But like it should give me one or it should give me two. Okay, let's just run it and see. So it gives me two because like here I've defined it, right? Two lines. Th- yeah, yeah. Any doubts in this? Okay, okay, sure. Yeah. So basically, these 4 points are like really important. So case sensitivity, and we can only have alphanumeric characters and underscores. Great. So now, like, what is semantic and syntax error? So any idea what is semantic error? What is syntax error? Literal meaning. You can like correlate with the literal meaning as well. Okay. Right. Right. And semantic, literally, like in English, it means something related to meaning, right? Something semantics is like nothing but the reasoning behind something, right? So let's like see what is semantic and a syntax error. So let's say I do a print. uh, yeah, so I want to print, let's say, this. So I want to print 1 lakh. I inserted commas like we do in mathematics, right? So 1 comma after 3, then 2, this way. But it printed 100. First of all, like why it printed 100? So like basically double zero is nothing but a single, it's just zero, right? Double zero, triple zero, single zero, it all means the same, right? So it just printed 100. So my code ran perfectly, but I know that this is not the actual output I wanted to see. I wanted to print simple 1 lakh. So like if I like insert comma, inverted commas, it will give me 1 lakh. This is fine. But if I remove the commas, the inverted commas, then I am getting the output as just 100, which is not right. And since my code also didn't tell me that you have encountered any error, so in longer codes, it can be the case that I don't see like the output is not what I wanted, right? So this is something known as semantic error. Semantic means the code runs fine, but the output is not the one which I wanted. So syntax error is something like, let's say from the naming variable only, I say 1 age equals to 3. So it is giving me a syntax error, that invalid syntax. So syntax is like basically the basically rule which I have for variable naming. It is not right. So basically, I got then a syntax error. So in syntax error, always the code shows a error that something is wrong. So like any idea which is better, semantic or syntax error? Like which is easier to solve? A semantic error is easier to solve or a syntax error? Okay, and why? Exactly, exactly. So in semantic, we don't like even know. Here, we just have a single line. So okay, like we pointed out that this is not the correct output. But in like in companies, there are lakhs or millions of lines of code, and in between, if any line is not giving the appropriate output, we might miss out on it. Right? So basically, syntax error is easier to solve because we at least know that we have any error. Okay. Right. So basically, like this was just the brief like overview. I wanted to discuss some important points, and then we can like move on to the practice questions. Like, if you have any like peculiar or like any doubt from last session, you'll just like feel free to ask in for loops, while loops, conditionals, functions. Any specific doubt? All right, so like we can move on to the questions, I think then. Right, so basically, this is just some illustrations I wanted to show. So, like for I in Techmedbuddy, print and this I. So basically, like let's just first remove this and do a simple print. So for I in Techmedbuddy, what it will do in for loop, I will go from T till Y, right? So every time we'll get a single letter like T, E, C, H, M, E, and so on. So if we like want to append a character, anything like let's say we want to add a dot after every letter, so we can just add a dot and here it goes, right? So in print statement, if I don't want that my output should be in separate lines, rather I want that it should be a single line. So any idea how we can do that? If I want to print these text, just give me a minute. Yeah, yeah, so any idea like how we can print it in a single line? Okay, so yeah. Yeah. What in double inverted comma? Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Hmm. Hmm. And yeah, equals to. Right, right. Perfect, perfect. Right. So basically, here I've defined that ending should be just no space, just inverted commas. Maybe we can specify like anything. Let's say after every letter, I want a dot and two spaces. So what I can do is in the inverted commas, I can specify double space and then run. So see, after every letter, we have double space. So in print statement, we can have this end. Pratiksha, can you please mute yourself? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this was about the end statement. Then we have something called as range 5. So basically what happens is like we go from 0 to 5. So for I in range 5, print I. So it will print 0 to 4. The end, the whatever the end number is, that is not printed. So in range, what we have is we can specify like if we have a single number happens like from it starts from 0 and ends wherever the number is specified. So like let's say like we have here 10, so it will go from 0 to 9, it will not print 10, right? And then we can have something like for I in range 10 comma 15. So 10 is our start number and 15 is our end number. So let's run it and see what happens. So it gives me 10 to 14. So basically start is inclusive but the end number is exclusive. So basically 15 will not get printed, right? So let's see what happens if I add three numbers. So for I in my end is causing some issues, don't know. Yeah, for I in range is so 10 comma 15. Let's say I specify 2 and then I do a print right. Print. So I get 10, 12, and 14. So any idea what is happening here? So basically like in range function, we can at max specify three parameters, that is start, comma, end, comma, step. Now what is step? Step means how many positions we should jump. So here I have specified that we need to jump two positions, right? So it starts from the start index, the start number, that is 10. Then it jumps to position, that is 10 plus 2, 12. Then again it jumps to position 14. Then it again jumps to position, we get 16. But we need to stop at 15, right? and 15 is also exclusive. So at 14 it stops. So when we specify three number in range function, we have the start comma end comma step. In case of two functions, it is start comma end, and in case we have just one number, it is the end. And start by default is set as 0 in this case, right? Anything which is not clear, feel free to ask. Okay. So now let's just try one question. Printing first and even numbers. So it'll be great if you guys also give it a try. How can we print first and even numbers? Yeah. When we take one number, the number we specify is the end number, and by default in this case, the start is set as 0. Yeah. So basically, like instead of 5, if I like, let's say do 7, so it should give me 0 to 6. Yeah. So 0 is like, this is by default start equals to 0, and this is my end number. And end is always exclusive, that is, it won't be included. And you guys know how to take input in Python? User input? Yes, okay, great. Yeah, so basically, in this question, like for like printing first and even numbers, first input a user number and then write a function proper like def function as you must have studied in the last session, and then try printing all the first and even numbers. So just give it a try. Very simple. Yeah, so we need to print first and even numbers. So have a function, define a function proper like def function, and then write your code, and try inputting a user input in. So basically, if, let's say like for example, like first print first 10 even numbers. So the n you can take as user input. Yeah. Any ideas you guys are getting like how we can do this? Any thoughts? So basically, like, what is even number? Basic question. Yeah. So like, what are even numbers? Exactly. Perfect. So let's try to correlate till like what from like what we have studied, right? So we have studied range function, okay, and we have studied for loop. So try correlating something like, we know like even numbers are alternate numbers, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. After, yeah, after two jumps we get even numbers, right? So like try to think something on that line. There are multiple possible codes present for this like question. You can write it in like multiple ways. It's just your thought process. So like try to think how we can do that. So we have alternate even numbers in steps of two. Any like ideas getting? Hmm. Right. Correct. Plus two is also correct. Again, like I said, it can be like done in multiple ways. So like how exactly with plus 2? You're absolutely correct, we can like do plus 2. Hmm. And then basically like how to basically write it in Python. Okay, so like let's like start with writing some stuff. Okay, so like def even numbers. Let's say I name my function as def even numbers, brackets, right? This is the basic syntax of a function. So I need to print first n numbers. So I have to input n, right? I will like write a function and like let's say n I input. So int input. This is the way to get a user input, right? Using input, I'll get a string. So to convert the string to an integer, I'll write int, right? So it is like giving me what should I input as n. So let's say like I enter 5 and just press a enter, right? Okay, so basically def even numbers n. So I do for I in range. So sorry, n is not coming. Yeah. So we'll start with 2, right? And if we have to print first n even numbers, from where till like where it should go, what will be the nth even number? Like 2 into 1, 2, 2 into 2, 4, right? Exactly 11, right? So basically, if I think in terms of n, so what like I can, what's the formula? Exactly. Like what? No, 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 not n plus 1. N is 5, right? It should go till 11. That is perfect. 2 into n, right? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, hmm. Acha, okay, okay. So basically, what I'm saying is that when I asked, right, what will be the nth even number? So nth even number, if like my n is 5, then the fifth even number is 10. That is perfectly fine, right? So the basically it should go till 11. Why? Because the last number is not included in range function as we saw above. So what I'm saying is like 11 is perfectly fine. So let's just try to correlate it in terms of n, so as to like generalize my function. So what I can say is like it should go till 2 into n, and I'll do a plus 1. Why? Because the last number is not included. So it will go till 2 into n only, and step number as 2. Then I can like simply do a print I comma let's say end equals to single space. And again my n is not coming. So let's run this function. N I have inputted. Now let's call the function. So how can I call the function? What should I write here to call this function? Exactly. Even numbers and also brackets, right? In brackets, since I have a parameter also, so n. N I have defined. Even numbers answer 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So basically, it should start with 2. It should end at 2 into n plus 1. Why? Plus 1 I did only because the last number is not included in range function. And why 2 into n? Because even numbers are multiples of 2. So basically, nth number will be 2 into n, right? And in between, we want to skip one number. So we need jumps of 2. One way is this. Another way can be I just define a variable count equals. You guys have studied while loop. Not yet. Okay, so no issue. So like we can like do with for loop only. That is fine. So basically, another way can be, let's say I say like any variable like variable equals to two, and I say for I in range one comma n print variable into I comma and equals to just a single space. So and I have specified here. So let's try to run. So I get 2468. Now like can anybody tell me what's the issue in this? So again like this is an example of semantic error because I wanted five numbers but I've got four. But I got the output, so it is up to me like note this or not that there's something wrong. So what's wrong in my code? Like why I'm getting only four numbers? I want five numbers, right? N is five, but I'm getting only four. Why? Feel free to like open your mind. It is absolutely fine to ask like as many questions and like ask let's say 100 times. I'll be more than happy to answer. What can I change in my code so that it gives me 10 also? The fifth even. N plus 1. Exactly. And why n plus 1? Exactly. 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 Perfect. Perfect. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So basically, this can be solved in even more like number of ways. So it is like just your thought process, how you think, like how you approach the question, right? So we can like multiply, or like we have done like variable into I. We can also do variable print I like for I in ranges instead of multiply, print variable, and we can do variable plus equals to two. 2 for 6 at 10 again. So it can be done like it can be done in n number of ways. Yeah. So basically earlier what we did is we did print variable into I. So variable again like I just kept it like as two because starting with two and I was multiplying it with I will go from one to n. So two into one, two into two, two into three that way. Right, but now what I did is I will just print the variable, and like in separate line I am adding 2 every time. So basically this is like it is essentially the same thing. Either I can like because like what is multiplication? It is repetitive addition only, right? Like 2, yeah, because like 2 into 3 is adding 2 3 times. So similarly like variable equals to 2, and then in every for loop basically n times I will add 2 in my variable and print it. So this is fine. Great. So after class also like you guys can try coding these questions yourself as well. I'll post these questions in WhatsApp group, because like once you do the things yourself it becomes more clear. So now if I want to print first 10 even numbers in reverse order, same thing, but just in like 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, this way. So again a very simple thing. Let's just copy this. I say name it as reverse even number n. So for I in range, we'll write it again. So okay, so first what we have to do is clear. Print n even numbers in reverse order. Reverse is nothing but just 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. So what will be my starting number? Starting will be the nth even number, right? And what will be my nth even number? No, no. First 10 even numbers in reverse order, like natural numbers, we want to print only positive numbers. Reverse just means instead of like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, I want to print 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Just the highest number first. Yeah. So the question is clear. We want to print n even numbers in reverse order. That is, we want to print something like 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. This way. If you want to like print first five even numbers in reverse order, right? So what will be my starting number? Exactly. Great. Perfect. 2n. And what will be the last number? Not n. Think 2, exactly 2. And since the last number is not included, we can say 0 or 1, anything. 0 or 1, you can say anything, right? Then comma, my step will be -2. Minus, why -2? It is understood, like why -2? Let's run it also. Ref even numbers, and then we say 5. So yeah. So we start with 2n. We end. We can like also write 1. Let's say we write 1. Again the same. Why? Because it just because like when we do -2, -2, when it comes to 4, it will print 4, and then again it will do -2. That is 4 minus 2, 2. Again it prints 2. But then as it does 2 minus 2, it becomes 0. And since we had like 1 or we have 0, last this n number is not included, so it stops there only. Any like questions? Feel free to ask if you have like any doubts till whatever we have covered till now. Be it variable naming or even numbers, reverse even numbers, anything. Why 2n? Why -2? All clear? Hello? Yeah, okay. Alright, so let's see how to like check if a number is a prime number. So, what are the characteristics of a prime number? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can even zoom it a bit. Yeah. Where? Okay, yeah, here. So here we just like want to specify the space. So basically, like if I remove this, I just do a simple print I. So it will print in different lines, right? So just to specify, like it should not print in separate line, we can do like anything, end equals to, and in inverted commas we can specify single space, double space, triple space, or even like something as any like string also, like let's say apple. If we like say apple also, so let's see what it does. So 10 apple, 8 apple, 6 apples. So whatever we specify in the inverted commas after our number, it will only show that. Yeah. Right. So like should I pause for a minute or like we can continue? Okay. Yeah. I hope like I'm not going too fast. If I am, like feel free to do like tell. No? Okay. Sure. So like yeah. Hello. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, so basically, if you want to take input from the user, so the user will only specify like how many numbers we want to print, right? So here I've written specified as five, right? Instead of five, what like I can do is have like let's say num equals to int input, right? And specify the parameter as num. So basically in my function, what now will go whatever the number I specify. So let's say I write 2, okay, and I do a enter. So just 4 and 2 will get printed. I remove the apple, it will cause confusion, I think. So basically, my function is generic because I've specified in terms of n and not like fixed number, right? So, y2n is clear, right? So basically, even numbers jumps in 2. So basically, till 2n we go till 0, and in between we do minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, jumps of 2. So this is the user input here. How many numbers we want to print? Yeah. So then, like, let's just see how we can find if a number is a prime number or not. So, any like how to like approach a question? First of all, like understand its literal meaning, think of its logic, and then try to code. Coding should be the last step because you should be like absolutely clear what you want to do, right? So let's just think like what is a prime number? What are the characteristics of a prime number? Exactly, correct. So then try to think of a logic that how can we check this? It should be like only divisible by itself. And 1, absolutely. Yeah. Prime number is only divisible by 1 and itself. So how can we basically check? Okay, I'll like give a hint. Okay. So we have something known as modulus operator in Python. Did you guys study modulus operator? The percent symbol one? No? Okay. So I'll yeah take that. So there can be like other ways also, but yeah, just idea. So I do 4 modulo 2, so it gives me 0. So modulo symbol basically gives us the remainder. So if I do 5 modulo 2, I know my remainder is 1, right? So it gives me 1. So modulo symbol gives us the remainder. This is like the hint of this question. So something to do with for loop maybe, and using this modulo symbol, try to like think of the logic and try to like if you're like clear with the logic, try to code. So basically, prime number is only divisible by 1 and itself. So all the numbers between 1 and itself, the number is not divisible. So the remainder cannot be 0, right? If remainder is 0, that means the number is divisible. So the remainder shouldn't be 0 in between 1 and the number, whatever number comes, right? So try to like code it. Any progress? You want more time? Hello? Any progress? No? Okay, chalo. Let's just try to like see how we can do that. So basically, this much like logic we have. So prime number is divisible only by 1 and the number itself. And then we have this modulo operator which can give us the remainder, right? So if two numbers are divisible, then their remainder is 0. We know this, basic maths. Okay. So what we can do is we can check that from 1 till the number, if there is any number whose modulo is 0, that means the numbers are divisible and the number given is not a prime number, right? So let's just try to translate our logic into Python code. So I do a def prime num. Again, I have to give some input and the number basically, the parameter. So what I can do is I can like specify a variable called as flag. I'll do like flag equals to false. Again, like one thing to note is like in Python, false and true starts with capital F and capital T. So no need of inverted commas as like we do in string, right? So false we can just write this way because these are reserved words. So def, false, true, words like these are reserved words. So basically these are set meaning, right? So def means like definition, false like uh, true and false like meaning we know. So we start with defining a variable flag equals to false. Then we do for I in range. Also, 0 and 1 is neither prime nor composite, we know, right? So we can add one more condition to make our code more robust is if n greater than 1. We'll only like then check. So if n greater than 1, then for I in range, we'll start with 2 until where we'll go till the number. We just want increment of 1, so automatically the like increment is default is 1 only. So for I in range 2 to n, we'll check that if n modulo I double equals to 0, that means the number is divisible by something else. So we'll do flag equals to true. And oh sorry, true. And then we add a break. What is break? Whenever we write, whenever this condition will be met, it will come out of the for loop, because we know in prime number, even if like it is divisible by 2 and like not till any other number, it is not prime, we know that, right? So why to check for 3, 4, 5, 6 and all the numbers till n, right? So we can just add a break statement. Break will bring our code out of this for loop, and then we can basically check that after this for loop, even after this, like if n greater than 1, we'll just check if flag double equals to true. If flag double equals to if flag double equals to true, we'll do a print number is prime, right? Else we do print not prime. Any doubts? We can just remove this Python editor. Let's just see if our code is fine or not. So I take a number in input and I write prime num and specify it. So let's try to run it. So I want to check whether 3 is a prime number or not. Not prime. But 3 is prime, we know. What happened? What went wrong? What went wrong in this code? Modulus we have used here. Yeah. So what went wrong? Range is not right. Okay. Let's just try to dry run it for 3. Okay. So dry running means like without running the code, we'll see like how our basically condition movement. So like if n equals to 3, if n greater than 1. So 3 is greater than 1, that is fine. So for I in range 2 comma 3. So if for I in range 2 comma 3, so I will, what all values will I have? Only 2. Perfect. So if 3 modulo 2 double equals to 0, which is not true because 3 modulo 2 is 1, right? So this is not true. Just, yeah. So basically this like flag equals to true won't happen and it won't break. Not prime again. Okay, so I think it should work. I don't know like why it is not working. So even like I will check. For I in range 2 comma n. So like what is wrong in this logic? What is wrong? Where we are going wrong? How we can see like where we are going wrong? And mod no, not needed actually because like like we are just taking integer, right? And like every number is divisible by 1, we know. So yeah, that is fine. Yeah, hello. Hmm. That means it is a prime number because no, because yeah. Hmm. No. No, 3 modulo 2 will be 1, right? Uh, no, because 3, like if it is divisible, then it is prime, right? So this, if n modulo I double equals to 0, that means the number is divisible. That means it is prime. So I am setting the flag as true. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it is not a prime number then. Perfect. Yeah. No, but like this condition is only checking that it is prime, right? I don't think because here what will happen is 3, it will give like 3 modulo 2. So 3 modulo 2 is 1. So 1 is not equals to 0. So basically like this flag equals to true won't happen, and this is also right because like if flag is false then our number is prime, right? Yeah. No, because if it is divisible, then we are setting the flag as true, right? And if the flag is true, then only. Okay, correct. Yes, 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 yes. If the number is not prime, exactly. Correct, correct, correct. Number is prime. Perfect. Yeah, prime have written. So again, this was the example of which type of error? This was which error? Exactly, because see, I messed up in the print statements. So basically, like for in between any of this range 2 comma n, if our number divides something like the remainder is 0, that means it is divisible. So we are setting the flag as true, and we are just checking if the flag is true, then the number is not prime. Otherwise, if our flag is false, that means the number is prime. So flag is just checking if it is divisible by some number. Flag equals to true means that our number divided some number, which violates the condition of prime numbers. Right? Yeah. Great. So, any like doubts in this question? How did we approach this, or like why are we using modulo, or like yeah, somebody asked that why we are like not using n plus one, right? So if we'll use n plus 1, so that will include n also, but all the numbers are divisible by themselves only, right? So like 7 modulo 7 will give us 0, then flag will be true, and then number is not prime. Every number will divide itself, right? So we just want to check till number minus 1. That's why we just did n and not n plus 1. If we'll do n plus 1, then every number will be not prime, because every number will divide by itself and flag will be set as true. Got this point? Yeah. So just last question. So like for break, like I just wrote one more example. Like for if like we have a list, let's say like fruits equals to apple, mango, and banana. So for fruit and fruits, print fruit. So if we just want to print the fruits till mango, whatever is there before mango, and then we did a break. So we'll just get apple and mango. Just to be clear with the break functionality. Right. So let's just do this question. Calculate the sum of digits of a number. That means like if we have let's say num equals to 1 to 3, there's a number 1 to 3. We want to output as 1 plus 2 plus 3, that is 6. Again, like something to do with modulo. And all the numbers. So 1 plus 2 plus 3. Whatever the digits are, we want to like add all the digits. So like just a simple like approach. What we can do is we can start with the last digit and just keep on like have a sum variable defined and add the last digit, and then remove the last digit. Again, then add the last digit, remove the last digit. and we will continue this process till our number becomes 0, right? So how, like, what technique we can use for any number? How can we how can we get the last digit? Try to think that way. What operand can we use to get the last digit? Let's say I want to extract 3 from this number. How can I extract 3 using any operator? Like plus, minus, multiply, divide, modulus symbol we just studied. So anything which we can use to get this last digit. So like 1, 2, 3 modulo 10 is 3. Why? Because 1, 2, 3 divides by 10 and modulus symbol gives us the remainder, right? So the last digit comes as 3, because like whatever, because like 10 is like multiples of 10, right? So like till 120 will be divided and 3 will be left. So like if you think, like if you observe carefully, if you want to get the last digit of any number, what we can do is simply do a modulus 10. So take any number, let's say like 77, 77 modulo 10. So like what should be the output of 77 modulo 10? Exactly, 7. So getting the intuition that we'll always get whatever the last digit will be if we do modulo 10. Till here it is fine? Yes, no, yeah, yes, okay. Great. So let's say def digit sum, and I do n and then I specify it. So what we can do is we initialize a sum variable and then we do while. So like for loop is again like very similar to while loop is again very similar to for loop. So in for loop we do like for I in something, yeah, like for I in is the general syntax, right? In while loop we just specify the condition like till where the loop should go. In for loop we specify mostly in terms of I, right? Like for I in range 0 to 6, for I in Techmedbuddy. So like any range or any string we specify. So in while loop, what we do is again we specify some condition that if this condition is met, stop the loop, come out of the loop. So what I'll do is while n greater than 0. So this whatever I'll write here, the loop will continue till our number is greater than 0. As soon as a number equals 0 or less than 0, it will come out of this for loop, right? So sum equals to whatever our sum is initially plus what we'll write after plus. Just this process. What should I write here? Come on. We want to do modulo 10 with the number, right? So what should I write here? We are doing modulo 10 with every number, right? So sum plus, just give it a try. It is absolutely fine to be wrong. Remainder, exactly. So how will we get the remainder? We can just do n modulo and then 10. So basically it will automatically just give the remainder. So like n modulo 10, whatever will be. Then we did sum equals to sum plus n modulo 10, that is fine, but we also need to remove, we like, as I said that we'll start with the last digit and we'll like keep on adding this and then removing this. We also want to remove the last digit, right? So there's a operator called double slash, so it is 4 double divide 2, so it gives us the divisor. So if you'll do 5 modulo 2, sorry, double divide 2, you'll again get 2. Why? Because it just gives us the divisor. So double divide gives us the divisor and modulo gives us the remainder. Right? So what we can do is we can do n equals to n divide 10. Let's also see why. 123 double divide 10. What should be the output? Divisor, right? It should be 12 because 12 into 10 is 120. So if you like also like visualize what happens is like if we divide by 10, just a decimal comes after the first digit, right? The last digit. So basically it will be 12.3 or whatever the number is. Let's say like blah 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 and like I divide by 10, it will be this number bf point j, right? Yes or no? Yeah. So basically, after point, whatever it will be, that will be removed. Why? Because this gives us an integer. So basically, the decimal value will be removed. It won't be float. So that's the intuition. And then, as our number reaches 0, the loop will be over, and I'll do a print and the sum. Let's see. Again, n equals to int input, and I do digit sum n. So let's enter 1, 2, 3 only. 6. So basically here we are adding, oh sorry, Java comment. So yeah, so like in Java we have double slash or comment, right? So that's it. So basically here we added last digit and then here removed last digit. Continue this process till number is greater than 0. Like for now it can be the case like even initially like I was also overwhelmed like how we can like come up with these solutions on our own, but yeah, like with practice it like happens, like you'll get the intuition, right? So there are some like specific techniques only which are generally used, so like no need to worry, with practice you'll get to know these. So any doubts in this? Yeah, sure, sure, sure. So basically, what our intuition was that if we want to add the digits of a number, what we can do is we can add the last digit and then remove the last digit. Again, like, so basically, what we'll do is like if we have 1, 2, 3, I'll add 3 and then remove 3. I'll add 2, so 3 plus 2, 5, and then remove 2. Again, add 1, 3 plus 2 plus 1, 6, and then remove 1. Number becomes 0, stop there. Okay, so then we saw that modulo gives us the remainder and then double divide gives us the divisor. So basically like 1 to 3 double divide 10, what it happens like it is like 12.3, right? If I do 123 divided by 10, but double divide gives us proper integer. So 1 to 3 divided by 10 is 12.3, right? But if I want to just get the integer part of this, So I'll add one more divide. This gives me only the integer part. So if it only gives us the integer part, obviously the last digit will be removed. Even it is like 120, so it is even proper. If like number properly divides also, then too the last digit will be removed. So we wanted to remove last digit, right? So we made use of this operator, double divide. And for adding, we wanted to add always the last digit. So in last digit we made use of the modulo operator. So 123 modulo 10. Modulo always gives us the remainder, right? And the special property of 10 is the basically till 10, like whatever the last digit will be, it will give only that, because like again like 10, 20, 30, 14 multiples of 10, right? That's why. So we just made use of these the properties of the modulo and the double divide in this question. Our intuition was that we wanted to add the last digit and remove the last digit. Again add the last digit, again remove the last digit. Continue till a number is greater than zero. As soon as it reaches zero, stop. Right? Any doubts? Should I like pause for a minute or continue? Let's move forward. So this was like about some practice of for loops and like logic building. Where we got it. So again, like a simple example of nested for loops. So if we want to print the multiplication table, like complete table till 10. So basically, just nested for loops you covered yesterday, right? Like the last session. Hello. Okay, not properly. Okay, okay, no issues. So okay. So what happens is if I write like for I equals to 1 and I do a for j equals to for j in range, let's say 5. I do a print I into j, let's say. Okay, so I think like this way it is, yeah, for in is required. So I do a for I in range 1 comma 2. So essentially it means the same, right? I will only take one. So what happens is first we take a, like okay, so to be more clear, I'll take 3 so that like in I can also be 1 and 2. So for I in range 1 comma 3, so first our I will be equal to 1 and j will go till 0 to 4, right? So first I equals to 1 and then j equals to 0 to 4. So print I into j. So what will happen is I will first remain 1 and j will loop over from 0 to 4. So basically 1 into 0, 1 into 1, 1 into 2, 1 into 3, 1 into 4. Stop. And then I will be 2 and again j will go from 0 till 4. So again 2 into 0, 2 into 1 till 2 into 4. So let's just try printing what happens. Again, so see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. 0 2 4 6 8 stop. So basically, first I is decided, whatever I is, and then for that specific value of a I, whole range of j is done, results printed, and then again it checks that if any value of I is left, okay, it is left. 2 can also be possible. Okay, so if like I will be 2, and then again whole range of j is done, answers printed. It then again checks if any other value of I is left. No, we cannot include 3 because it is exclusive. Last digit number. So this is clear, like how nested for loops work. Okay, okay, great. So like here we have two for loops. We can have n number of for loops. So like we can have another for loop. So like for k in range, let's say like 2. So we can then indentation, you know, right? In Python, indentation is the space. Last session we discussed. Yeah, okay, okay. Yes, great. So basically, like what happens is, first of all, I is fixed, then j is fixed, and then loop over in the range of k. So basically, the inner, whatever the inner loop will be, that will be like ranged first. So basically, the outer loop will get changed in the last. Like getting my point. So basically, like first I will be 1, j 0, then k will be 0 and 1. Then again j will be changed, I will remain the same, and then again 0 1. So basically, like for a single like I equals to 1, first j will be 0 and then k 0 1, then j changes to 1 and then k 0 2, that way. So similarly, like we can have multiple loops. So this way, like if we wanted to print the multiplication table, what I can do is simply for I in range 1 to 11, again 11 won't be included. For j in range 1 to 11, again 10, 11 won't be included. So print I into j and end equals to space, and then I added one more print statement here just to print it in proper format. So basically, like as I the value of I changes, we have a new line, so as to print it in proper format. So basically, table is nothing but 1 into 1, 1 into 2, 1 into 3 till 10. Again, then 2 into 1, 2 into 2, 2 into 3, that way, right? So basically, first, like I will remain as 1, and then for j in range 1 to 11, so 1 into 1, then j changes to 2, so 1 into 2, j3, 1 into 3. It is printed till 10, right? One loop is over for j, so we encounter this print statement, line changes. Then I equals to 2, then j is 1, so 2 into 1, 2, 2 into 2, 4, again till 20, and then like similar way. Any doubts here? Sure, sure. So basically, if we want to print the multiplication table here, so just the basic idea of for loops is whatever our inner loop will be, that will be ranged first. That is, first of all, like I'll add another this code. Yeah. So basically, for I in range 1 to 10, so first of all, I will remain as 1 and j will go from 1 to 10, because like 11 won't be included, right? So I remain first and j goes to 1 to 10, and whatever the code will be, that is like in this case I into j. So 1 into 1, 1 into 2, 1 into 3, that way. As the value of j completes, we then have I equals to 2, and then again j will go from 1 to 10, that way. So like this way it will like go on till the last value of that is I equals to 10, and then again we'll loop over j equals to 1 to 10, and then it checks that okay, I cannot be 11, so stop. So every possible permutation and combination is performed in this range basically. All the values of I and j are like done. Yeah. So like take maybe like 20-30 seconds to like grasp it. So like first I remains fixed and j keeps changing till the range of j is exhausted. Then again I is changed, and then again the range of j is repeated. That- Like if this concept is clear, then like very basic question like print your name in 3 rows and 5 columns. So what I mean to say is have something like let's say my name is Prakriti. So Prakriti, Prakriti, and again pardon my spelling. So yeah, 5 columns, right? So and then 3 rows. So something like this. I want the output as this. So we have 3 rows and 5 columns, right? Just a simple use case of for loops. If you got the intuition, then this is fine. And I even showed you like how can we change the line after like certain condition. Very similar to this. Just values will be changed. It is like exactly similar to this, just some minor changes. Question is clear? Like if it's not, I can explain again. Yeah, sure. So basically, what I like want is every one of you can print your name in 3 rows and 5 columns. So basically, just repeat your name in 5 columns and 3 rows. So here I have 3 rows and 5 columns. So I want to print something like this. My output should be this. Yeah. Like almost, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Just like ignore the spelling. Just that is like typo. So yeah, Prakriti. Same spelling. Something very similar to this. Like the same code structure, just some changes, one to two places. See, the output structure is also very similar, right? So what I can do is, for I in range 5, for j in range 3, I can do a print. I can take a user input, specify here as well, no issues. Specify a end and then again a print statement here. Let's see what's the output. Now, how can I change this output into my required output? What should I change in my code so that the output becomes this? So basically, for I in range, number of rows, and for j in range, number of columns, print and the end. So again, like I was emphasizing on that like part, that I remains fixed, and first like it is looped over all the values of j, right? So basically, Prakriti will be printed 5 times first using this end equals to this. Then j will be over and a new line will come because of this print. And then again, I equals to 2. First, like I will be 0, 1, and 2, right? The absolute like value won't matter, but yeah, like it will specify the number of times our the Prakriti will come basically. So then again, like for 0, for I equals to 0, this line, for I equals to 1, this line, for I equals to 2, this line. So basically, number of columns is specified in the inner loop because the inner loop is looped first. So basically, it like helped me printing this way. But I don't think like it is clear, right? Yes, no. Like understood or not? Understood. Okay. Like everyone understood. I can absolutely like explain it again. No issues. Should be understood. Yeah. Yeah. So like basically, where's the problem coming? Like what is not clear? Okay, so basically, what is happening is, for I in range 3 and for j in range 5. So, first I will be fixed and then j will be looped. So, what will happen is I equals to 0 and j will be run 5 times, right? Because range is 5, so 0 to 4. So, 5 times Prakriti will be printed in a row, and then our row will be changed because of this print, and then again 5 times it will be printed. Okay, this is a simpler example. I think this like from here it can be like more clear. So if we want to print every combination of adjectives followed by fruits, like red apple, red banana, red cherry, then big apple, big banana, big cherry, tasty apple, tasty banana, tasty cherry. We want something like this, right? Yes, no, like clear or not? Okay, okay, okay. So like if you have like little bit idea also like how the loops are working, so I would like really appreciate if anyone like tells like how can we do this. vague idea. Or did I explain that bad? No? Yeah, so like, but like, matlab, that is like fine seriously columns, but like, then how can we like proceed with if we like want to print red apple, like this way we want to print like red apple, red banana. So for I in adjectives, so then I will take red, big, and tasty, right? Yeah. Then for J in fruits, so fruits will take apple, banana, cherry. Now I want to print red apples. That means red plus a space and then apple. Let's see. Okay, I didn't run this cell. So define my list, adjectives and fruits. So see. I think like from this example it will be more clear how the like loop part is working. So basically first I will remain fixed as red. It will be looped over J, that is fruits, that is apple, banana and cherry. So red apple, red banana, red cherry. I fixed, I fixed in this case, right? Looped over J. Then again I changed, that is big. Again looped over J, that is apple, banana, cherry. Then I changed tasty, apple, banana, cherry again. Is it like a bit clearer now? Hmm. Uh, like this, print every combination. Okay, I plus just I want to add a space. That's why I plus in inverted commas. I can specify any string, right? So I can do a double space also, like anything. Even like if I don't want any space, so I can also like do like I comma j. So it also brings a space. So I can even do that way. So the working of for loop, nested for loops is clear or not? Clear. Okay, so it'll be clear. Like, feel free to like ask again, like if it is not clear. Absolutely no issues. It's clear. Okay. So then here, what was happening is I think now will be a bit more clearer because like see, I will be fixed and J this will go on 5 times, right? So Prakriti again line changed, then 5 times Prakriti again line changed, 5 times Prakriti. Similarly, we did the multiplication table. So the main concept, the main funda is that I remains fixed, looped over j, again I change, looped over j. So which example is not clear? Hello? Yeah, hello. Yeah. Yeah, audible. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. 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 Sorry. Hmm. आई कर दो प्रिंटर ठीक क्या आई हटा दूँ ओके ओके ठीक है ठीक है हम्म। हाँ हम्म हम्म राइट करेक्ट करेक्ट हम्म हम्म करेक्ट yeah yeah I think definitely like the explanation was really really good so yeah it gave a better understanding right so अभी क्लियर है या नहीं हाँ मतलब प्लीज फील फ्री बिल्कुल बुरा नहीं मानेंगे हम भी इसी फेज से गुजरे सो नो इश्यूज ओ ठीक हाँ so basically like up we can like move on to fine handling I think nested loops ka I can like share some questions for your practice so that the things become more clear right so I can share that so yeah like let's move on to file handling I like cover it won't take like much time 10 to 15 minutes so okay So in find handling, basic things is like we use the open function to open a text file, and then this is like x. There's some noise. Yeah, Alu, can you please mute? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, we have X, R, W, and A. X stands for creating a file. R is for reading a file. W for writing, and A for append. So how we can create a file? Let's see. So I do like F equals to open. In commas, I specify any file name. So let's say I like say file name dot txt. I want to create a file, and since I want to create a file, I do a comma and then I specify X. Fine. So I try to run this. Now, how can I check that my file is created or not? Any idea? You guys know Collab, right? So where I can find this file? अच्छा नहीं मैंने वैसे पूछा था लाइक क्लास के स्टार्ट में ना तो आइडिया था हाँ हाँ तो इसी वो ये कि मतलब अगर जैसे थोड़ा वो क्लियर नहीं होता प्लेटफॉर्म तो इसलिए मैंने पूछ लिया था बट हाँ चलो ठीक है हाँ कोलैब का ना फाइल्स वी कैन सी हियर सो फाइल नेम डॉट टी एक्स टी this file is created here. So earlier it was not. We can like see also like I'll do a delete file. So see the like file is not there and then it'll come now. Yeah, magic. Okay. So now if we want to and with open and specify x we have created a file right so we can now do f dot close. Now our f will be free and okay file this see now like file exists here because file already exists so in next we can what we can do is we can do a f dot close just to close the file if we don't want to use it any further. Now if we since the file is created and we want to add something like in this so what we can do is since we have closed this file we have to like open it again so what we can do is if open file name dot txt and then we want to write right so I'll do a w till now I've opened the file and I've specified that I want to write in this file then I can write f dot write and I can write this way also like in inverted commas I can specify like hello world and whatever like I want to write and this is fine. Let's see download it and check that if it is written or not. I think with double also. Okay, it is empty, Abhi. Yeah, hello world. So basically the text came, right? Similarly, if we have a very long text, something like this, sample text, this is quite long, right? Multi-lined. So I what I can do is since f is already specified with open, so I can do f dot write and just give my variable name sample text. And now I'll okay I didn't run the cell that's why so we got a name error right sample text not defined. It is not happening in one go I'll do again some lag maybe just taking some time. Still no. Okay. It usually takes this much time, Alok. Okay, probably he's gone. No worries. So it's just we can like try opening it again, right? So if you hello, yeah. हाँ so basically like थोड़ा कोलैब में टाइम लेता है क्या फाइल अगेन रीराइट होने में नहीं सैम्पल टेक्स्ट डाउनलोड भी करके देख लिया हम्म हम्म या हाँ सो वो लाइक रीराइट हो नहीं रही बट टेक्निकली लाइक है तो चीज़ ठीक हम्म हम्म बिकॉज ओवरराइट जाना चाहिए था एंड हेलो वर्ल्ड वुड हैव बीन गॉन राइट तो हो गया है बिकॉज वही सक्सेस तो है वो आई थिंक थोड़ा लाइक कोलैब पे ही लैग है नहीं बिकॉज हेलो वर्ल्ड में भी लाइक टू टाइम्स ट्राई हुआ था आई कैन लाइक वो ओपन अगेन ना एक बार if equals to open filename.txt and then no, I can like close the file first since it is already open. I'll do a close. Now my file is closed. So I again open the file and I've written f.sample text, right? Now it is empty, lol. Oh, finally. So like probably some issue like it should have been worked, but yeah, like no issue. So basically, like f equals to open, and I've specified w since I want to write in the file. Then f dot write sample text. So this is the multi-line variable which I wanted to add. So this the basically whatever the text I wanted to add has been added. Now there can be like again the use case of for loops also come here if I want to calculate that how many lines are there in this file, right? So what I can do is I will do a count equals to 0, first of all counter, and then I'll do is for line in f is my open file. I can do count plus equals to 1. Count plus equals to 1 simply means count equals to count plus 1. I can also print the line just to check like whatever the line contains. Okay, since like I have written okay, so like okay, like you guys might like not have any idea. So it is not readable. Why? Because I have defined my f as only as write and not as read. So what I have to do is now I will first of all for proper uh, Alok, just please mute your mic. Yeah, first I'll do a f dot close and then f equals to open file name dot txt comma I'll do a read because I want to read the file, so it is important that I specify it as read. So now the file is open, and then so see, all the lines are printed, and now I can also print the count that how many lines are there. So print, I have 10 lines. We can also cross check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So like see, in file handling also we have use case of for loops. So here nothing, I am just reading the file line by line. So for line in F, just increasing the count and printing the line. Any doubt still here? Using X, yeah. Hmm. Sure, sure, yeah. So basically, in file handling, the like five major things are: we use open function, X for create, R for read, W for write, and A for append. Right. So first of all, we had to create a file, right? X. So we also got like file exist error if the file with same name and same extension already exists. So that also we check. If we want to read a file, we specify the file name, then after that comma and R. For writing, we do W. And if we simultaneously write first like we did hello world, and then if we write something else, so it will be overridden. That is, the first text will disappear and only the second text will remain. If we want to append the text, that is, we want to keep the first text and then we want to append the second text, then we have to specify A, that is append. So these are the major like things for file handling. So probably in the next class, since like it's like quite late, 9 7 now, we'll like you guys can like also check that if we have a file, like for example in this file only, I can share this file. If you want to check that how many lines starts with some specific word, let's say how many lines start with word sometimes, so how can we do that? Or if you want to like count the frequency of all the words in our document in a text file, how can we do that? So similarly, like there can be n number of questions. So like if you have any doubts still here, please feel free to ask. In the next class, we can like see how we can search a word, like whether a word exists in a specific text file or not. All that things we can check in the next class. So yeah, open to questions. Hello. Yeah. No questions. Okay. Yeah. So, I that I think Alok will like tell better. Alok, give me a minute. I'll just go. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.